All right, so we're going to pick up with this second video right here. We're going to take some notes about the triangle inequality theorem, or theorem is another word for theory. And when we did our inquiry lab with straws last week, we noticed something about the lengths of the sides of a triangle and what has to happen for that triangle to close or to actually be a triangle. So the rule that we should have come up with is the sum. What does sum mean? When we add, the sum of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the length of the third side, right? So what we noticed was if we added the lengths of the two shorter sides, they had to be greater than the third side. If not, they did not close and form a triangle. That's the rule. So is this a triangle here? If one side is 4 foot, one side is 5 foot, this side is 6 feet. Yes, how do we know? The two shorter sides are 4 plus 5, and that equals 9. And 9 is greater than 6. So, yes. And this would be what we call our proof. If someone asked us to prove it, we could say 4 plus 5 is 9, and 9 is greater than 6. That is our proof. All right. This is not a triangle. Well, first we can tell it's not a triangle because of the picture. It doesn't close right here. But we could also say that 4 plus 2 is 6. And 6 is less than 7. So that is no. Yes, it would have to be a 4 as well, right? Because 4 plus 4. Could it be a 3? No, because 4 plus 3 equals 7. It's not greater than 7. So this side right here would have to be a 4 for that to close, correct? 4 or higher. Okay. Let's look down here. Is it a triangle? What do we think? Is this one a triangle? Yes. How do we know? 3 plus 3 equals 6. And 6 is greater than 5. So that's a yes. All right. What about the second one? No. 3 plus 7 equals 10, and 10 is less than 13. So that one is a no. Easy enough to remember? Do you think that inquiry lab that we did last week helped you see that? I feel like it did. If you paid attention to what you were doing, you could see what conditions it took to make a triangle. All right, let's put this to the side and let's look at this work right here. And then we're going to put things in our journal at the end. All right, so let's look at these different problems and see how we might solve them. A triangle has side lengths of 22 inches and 25 inches. What are possible lengths for the third side? Use an inequality to describe the length. So I'm going to look here and I'm going to say if this is 22, this one would have to be a little bit longer at 25. What are some possible lengths for this side right here? So I could say that, I could either say that 22 plus 25 has to be greater than x, or I could say that 22 plus x has to be greater than 25. So I could either make this the longest side or 25 could be the longest side. Either one of those works. So if it was this problem, 22 plus 25, so let's look at that problem. 22 plus 25 is what? 47. So 47 has to be greater than x. So what could x be? So a possible side could be what? If 47 has to be greater than x, that means that our x has to be less than 47. So pick another number that could be less than 47. 46. I'm thinking it's probably going to be a lot lower just because this is not like twice as long as those. But x could be, so it could be, x could be, so it could be 46, we said, or it could be, could it be 20? 20 plus, yep, could be 20. It could be, could it be 18? Yep, because 18 plus 22 is still bigger than 25. So it could be any of these things. Or I could solve this right here. Negative 22, negative 22. X would have to be greater than 3. So x could be greater than 3 and it can be less than 47. So, and do all of these fit in that category? 45 is greater than 3 and less than 47. 20 is greater than 3 and less than 47. 18 is greater than 3 and less than 47. So, all of those are possibilities. So, you can use trial and error, or you can actually do some equations, right? Okay. I'm just going to highlight our answers here. How can you decide if 3 lengths form a triangle? I'm just going to put into words the rule that we made. And then once my hand's out of the way, you can copy it down. But I'm going to write, if you add the lengths of the 2 shorter sides, the sum must be greater than the third side in order to form a triangle. Lily says that a triangle can have side lengths of 8 centimeters, 7 centimeters, and 15 centimeters because 8 plus 7 is greater than or equal to 15. What mistake did she make? Anybody know? What do you think? It can't be greater than or equal to. It cannot be equal to. It has to be greater than. So the mistake that she made is 8 plus 7 is 15, and 15 equals 15. It has to be greater than 15. So that's the mistake she made. Let's see. I was going to write not a triangle. So not a, and I'm just going to make it the symbol for not a triangle. All right, everybody okay with that? When you're done with that, put it to the side. Let's look at this blue paper. And let's look at some of the other things that we need to know about a triangle. Okay, so you should have this paper right here. You are going to take these sides and fold them to where they do this. So take that and then fold this one in. So it should look like that. And really there are, if I were to fold this too, this is really a different section right here too. This is one section that we're going to look at, what makes a triangle. And then down here, this section is how we classify triangles. So there are some things that we need to learn. That means we need to study, we need to memorize. These are terms that we need to know. So I'm just going to cut these. I'm not going to cut all these other ones apart. But I do want this information up here. I want you to realize this information is one thing you need to know, and then down here this is another set of information. All right, so what makes a triangle? Well, we've been talking about the sides, and this is that triangle inequality theorem. When added together, the two shorter sides of a triangle must be longer than the longest side. So that is one condition that makes a triangle, and this is what we've been talking about since last week. When added together, the two shorter sides, 4 plus 6 is 10, and it must be longer than the third side. 10 is longer or greater than 9, so that does form a triangle. That is one thing that you need to know. So that's about the sides. What else makes a triangle? This right here, you need to know for your mathematical life for the foreseeable future, is that you need to know all three angles inside a triangle must add up to exactly 180 degrees. All three of these must always add up to 180 degrees. All right, so let's pick this back up. All three angles inside a triangle must add up to exactly 180 degrees. So 60 plus 60 plus 60 is exactly 180 degrees. Now, they're not always the exact same size. This is an equilateral triangle, which means all sides are equal and all angles are equal, but it won't always do that. But this is the math that we need to know. The angles inside always have to equal 180 degrees. What else is 180 degrees? What have we been doing with all of our other? A straight angle, right? A straight line is also 180 degrees. And I'll try to show you that tomorrow. Okay, so those are the two things that make a triangle. The sides, the two shorter sides have to be greater than the third side. The angles have to add up to what? 180 degrees. All right, so then how can we classify triangles? We classify triangles in two different ways. We classify them by the length of their sides. So that's over here, the length of the sides. So a scalene triangle, all three sides have different lengths. An isosceles triangle, two sides have equal lengths. And an equilateral triangle, all three sides have the same or they are all equal. These are words that you need to know. Scalene, all three different. Isosceles, two are the same. Equilateral, all three are the same. You must study those. You have to be able to identify that. Over here, we can also classify them by their angles. Acute, right, or obtuse. So acute, this is all angles are less than 90 degrees. A right triangle has just one right angle. If it has one right angle, it's right. Obtuse has one angle more than 90 degrees. So one obtuse angle is an obtuse triangle. One right angle is a right triangle. Acute, all angles will be less than 90 degrees. What would you classify this one as? We already said it's equilateral because all sides are equal. And it is also acute because all sides are acute. Okay? You need to learn these. Okay, so let's go to our journal. We'll put these things in our journal and we'll look at our skills practice. All right, Unit 4. Do what? I don't know where your journal is either. So 2, 3 triangles. One, 2, 3. Pages 80 to 83. We're going to do some folding of these. So you're going to want to watch how we fold them before we glue them. So on 81, so at the top, we are going to make this look like an accordion. We're going to put glue on the back of this bottom one. So take this and fold the bottom up to look like that. All right. Shh. Have a seat. So where it says, is it a triangle? Take it, fold it up there. Everybody good? And then take the top and fold it that way. So it's like an accordion. And then at the bottom of this page, we're going to glue this. We're going to do the same thing. Take this side, fold this in like this, and fold this one like this. So they look like that. Looks like that. The next page, I'm just going to glue this blue one on page 83. Let's look at the skills practice. Put your name at the top. Put your scissors up in your pocket or something. All right, the top. Find the value of x, then classify the triangle by its angles. And I also want you to classify, we might not be able to classify it by its sides because they don't give us the side lengths. Okay, so what did we say these have to add up to? 180. So 81 plus 84 plus x have to equal exactly 180. 81 plus 84, 165. 165 plus x equals 180. Subtract from both sides. X has to equal 15 degrees. Let me make that bigger. Everybody see what we did? All three angles, this plus this plus this, have to equal 180. 81 plus 84 plus x have to equal 180. Then I combined like terms. 81 plus 84 gives me 165 plus x equals 180. I have a one-step equation. The opposite of adding 165 is subtracting 165. So your x, this angle right here, has to be 15 degrees. If I classify that by its angle, what type of triangle is that? It is acute. It's a cute little triangle. You see what I did? It was nice, nice. It was punny. It was punny. Okay. Everybody going to be okay with that? Okay, so we will work on this page tomorrow. Down here at the, oh my goodness, down here at the bottom, draw a triangle that satisfies each set of conditions, then classify each triangle. So, I'm still working on this. I was going to show you how to do this one. You need one obtuse angle and no congruent sides. What does congruent mean? Right? So all three are different. So if I'm going to draw a triangle with an obtuse angle, I'm just going to start with an obtuse angle that's greater than 90 degrees. And then I am going to draw the third side. That's it. So, and to show that it has no congruent sides, I'm going to do one line there, two lines there, and three lines there. That means none of them are the same. On 11, a triangle with three acute angles and three congruent sides. So that pretty much means an equilateral triangle. Those all three are acute angles. Three congruent sides looks like this. If I draw one line on each of those, that means those are all equal. A triangle with one right angle and two congruent sides. You start that with a right angle. I'm going to put my right angle right there. You draw that with a right angle. Two congruent sides. I'm going to draw this and this. That means those two sides are equal. This would be our longer side. You should have those done and you won't have to do that. So tomorrow you're going to do the top and you're going to do the problem solving practice on the back. You may begin packing.